Our family contains the father Eric.
And I started working with building the rails in Gävle 1855. When the work was finished, I was promoted to a fireman who made sure that the oven always had enough coal. Later, I decided to educate myself to an engineer and started driving trains.
The mother Catherine.
I met Erik when he worked with building the railway. I cooked their food and took care of the sick ones.
And their daughter Alma.
I got arrested by the police when I pulled the emergency brake on a train. I then got in a fight with a prison guard on the train to the prison. I managed to escape, but felt so bad for hurting the man, so I became suicidal and almost took suicide. But I changed my mind the last minute.
They built the railway in the 1800s between Gävle and Falun to transport iron, even though Sweden was in economic crisis, since the harvest was terrible at the time. Gävle was the 5th city in Sweden that a railway was built in.
Year 1857, the first train from Gävle went to Falun. Those who went with that train were like today's astronaut, brave and adventurous. Later, when the transport of iron started, building that today is Gävle Centralstation were then used as a place to control the iron quality.
Working with building the railways at the time were a tough job. You traveled around all the time and couldn't go home at night. Instead, they were all pressed in a very narrow chamber, with hard bunk beds and bed bugs everywhere.
Working as a fireman who made sure the oven always had enough coal was also a tough job. You stood all day with your face burning from the heat of the oven and your back freezing if it was winter. But with this job, you're better paid and can go home at night and sleep.
Working as a train driver is a less physical tough job and is paid even better than a fireman. You only have to keep track on the gears and the train speed. Train drivers were at the time considered to be upper-class people. The reason for that could be that you had to have an education, which many people studied in England, a country that long have been good at technology.